This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, significant investment, dreaming and hard work paying off for George Street Normal School. OUSA plan to sever its ties with the national student body. The future beckons many secondary students into the construction industry. And a very good evening. I'm Craig Story. George Street Normal School is celebrating the realisation of a dream 5 years in the making. Its new $1.2 million modern learning environment is now open, and it's paving the way for the future of education.
It began with the need for a new school library, and after a year-long build, there's now a state-of-the-art two-storey learning centre at George Street Normal School. The space links 11 classrooms and includes a large multi-purpose library. An acting co-principal, Anne Robertson, says it's designed to connect pupils with technology as well as each other.
This whole area is Wi-Fi. Our book collection will also have a digital aspect to it and things like that, as well as just the space. The space connects to 11 classrooms. So those classrooms are going to be able to flow in and out of here.
The centre's officially called a modern learning environment, a term from the Ministry of Education, which contributed $146,000 to the project. And Robertson says securing the remaining funds and sticking to a budget has been a combined effort.
The whole build was about $1.2 million, but we were very lucky. We got a lotteries grant, and we've had the Community Trust of Otago support us with the carpet. So it is on budget. We've been very cautious with the budget and careful all the way through.
Robertson says the space was made as big as possible to accommodate future growth. She says adaptability is important, especially with ever-changing technology. And she hopes this learning centre inspires similar setups elsewhere.
All schools are thinking about these things, about how to make an environment where children can connect and collaborate and work together, and also across, big kids helping little kids, and breakout spaces and things like that.
Robertson says staff are still figuring out different ways to utilise the space to ensure the school's 477 pupils get the maximum benefits for years to come. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
And as you would have seen, Prime Minister John Key is in the city for celebrations to do with local education. He arrived at George Street Normal School to officially open its new learning centre. Key was met by a handful of stalwart, vocal protesters opposing the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, but his public duty at the school wasn't hindered by the small demonstration. The Prime Minister is also in Dunedin for the annual Class Act prize giving at the Dunedin Public Art Gallery. The event recognises top secondary school pupils from within Dunedin and around the wider region. Key is expected to stay in the city overnight, with appointments in North Otago tomorrow. Plans for alternative student representation are being made as an Otago body cuts its ties with the National Union. The Otago University Students Association has squared its debt with the New Zealand Union of Student Associations, and executives say there's little to show for the costly membership.
The OUSA has grudgingly paid almost $45,000 to the National Union of Students Associations for 2 years of membership. Executives debated spending the money elsewhere, but paid up to ensure the groups can still work together. Now President Paul Hunt wants to start a discussion about replacing the union, which he says isn't working.
Often NZUSA does things and the association members aren't happy, and we think through more regular meetings and conversations that will create the cohesion necessary to have an effective student voice.
He says the union's focus is too general, and he wants issues like inadequate student allowances to be more directly targeted. With that in mind, he says two major factors stand out as big problems with the national student body.
One is to be able to effectively lobby central government on a policy level, and the other is to mobilise and draw on students. And we don't think they're fulfilling either of those functions very well.
The OUSA's official relationship with the union ends in November, and Hunt's involved in plans to create alternative student representation.
There is intended to be a conference where this issue will be addressed. There are lots of different ideas floating about, so it's bringing the common threads of those ideas together to hopefully something everyone can agree on.
Several other student associations have also left the union or are currently considering it, and Hunt hopes they'll be involved in finding a better solution for fair student representation at a national level. David DeLorean, 39, Dunedin News.
And the union disputes claims that it is not effective. Police are investigating a suspected motor vehicle arson in Concord. The silver Hyundai broke down on Stevenson Road on Tuesday evening and its owner left it there overnight. Yesterday morning, around 10 a.m, a passerby noticed smoke coming from the vehicle and called emergency services. Police attended and firefighters found the vehicle engulfed in flames in what appears to be a deliberate act. 2 men were seen around the car just before the fire started. Anyone with information about the incident is urged to contact police. Local secondary school students are getting a taste of life in the construction industry. They've toured some of the city's trade-based businesses as part of a nationwide campaign, and it's all in an effort to showcase post-study opportunities.
Getting a glimpse at what a career in joinery looks like. These secondary school pupils are on a whirlwind tour of 4 building and construction sites around the city to see firsthand the benefits of picking a trade career.
We're just highlighting to them that there's great opportunities within the trades, opportunities that do have jobs behind, where some of the university degrees often don't have career paths following graduation.
This tour is part of a nationwide push by the Building and Construction Industry Training Organisation to encourage more young people to enter the industry. Bellamy says one drawcard is that in many trades, students are able to earn while they learn. And he says the skills they learn are in demand worldwide.
There are opportunities, especially opportunity with travelling, things like that they can take the skills, a trade skill is something that they've got for life and as a handy tool to have.
Bellamy says the Christchurch rebuild as well as Auckland's continual growth means there's more work than ever in the construction industry. And he says that's also the case locally.
Here in Dunedin, most of our work we specialise is Central Otago and Queenstown, high-end residential work as well as commercial joinery, so there's quite a big demand for that as well. The industry's in a real growth period, so there are definitely job opportunities available at the moment.
Bellamy says it's important to allow the students to see an operational workplace and the machinery being used, giving them the insight they need to consider a career not only in joinery but across the trades. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
And still to come on 39 Dunedin News, Dunedin Heritage Value gets another supporter, and 3 months after June's floods, victims have a drop-in centre to share.
A lifestyler to me is a person maybe wanting to escape the hustle and bustle of a big city, wanting some animals, maybe able to grow their own veggies, have chickens, get their own hens. A lifestyle block can be your supermarket, just a good way of living, and a lot of people enjoy that rather than being in a city. A very sustainable way to live.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
She's 21 metres long with a 6.7 metre beam. She can support diving, seafloor mapping and sampling, deep water measurements, and has onboard laboratories. She has a range of 1,000 nautical miles, which means the Polaris 2 can take your studies further than you ever thought possible. My name's Will Raymond, and this is My Place in the World.
Take your place in the world.
Big Orange, for all your movies, records, books and games. Pre-loved needs and vinyl records, 45s, DVDs. A South Dunedin family-owned business for over 15 years. Check us out on Facebook, opposite Westpac on the sunny side of King Edward Street.
Hi, I'm Mike Kernahan, Chief Executive of the Cancer Society, Otago and Southern Division. On 28th of August, we celebrate 25 years of Daffodil Day. Daffodil Day helps us provide care, comfort and hope to people who have a cancer diagnosis and their families. It helps us run health promotion programs so there might be less cancer in the future, and it funds vital cancer research. So please give generously this Daffodil Day. Text HOPE to 469 to donate $3 or visit daffodilday.org.nz and help us make this Daffodil Day the biggest and best yet.
Wake up time and another frantic day ahead for Haraway's Oat Singles. With 3 delicious flavours in each pack, they don't last long with this family. They're so convenient and tasty, and they're ready in seconds. Haraway's Oat Singles are the ideal breakfast or snack on the run for today's busy families. And there's a flavour to suit everyone. Beat the rush and make sure you get your favourite flavour. Haraway's Oat Singles. Try new Kiwi Favourites Caramel Variety Pack.
Hedges are something we almost take for granted. A good hedge needs regular maintenance to look its best and to add value and character to your property. For all your hedge care needs, call the team at SGC Services on 0800 783 453.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
And welcome back. Despite the dairy downturn, exports for the month of July were up compared to last year. The total value of goods exported during the month was $4.2 billion. That's a 14% increase on last July. The main contributor was fruit, up 51% to more than $300 million. A weaker New Zealand dollar aided in the increase in returns, of course, and meat exports also rose, up 24%, while dairy powder trade was down. And on that very cheery note, let's take a look at today's financials. What we call a fairly tepid day across most of the markets. The DJ showing 619 points increase. Decent on the FTSE and, well, look away, that's the Nikkei. And across to the currencies, small change in your pocket, I'm afraid. 0003 is our exchange with the greenback, down 0.09 against the yen. Nothing much really to report there. A new group has just been established to preserve the heritage and amenity values of central Dunedin. It's called City Rise Up, and founding member Meg Davidson is joining us with talk about it. Meg, thank you very much for coming into the studio.
Thank you.
How did this group come about? What is the impetus for City Rise Up?
We woke up to the fact that the suburbs closest to the city centre were becoming degraded, largely because of the increase in rental accommodation in those areas and the effects that flow on from that. We're concerned about antisocial behaviour from some tenants, including littering and graffiti.
General bad behaviour.
General bad behaviour.
Yeah, we can see this. It's quite visible to us with the graffiti and rubbish being left out in the streets.
Yes, and noisy too. Noisy partying, fighting in the street. And unfortunately, because this lifestyle, so-called, has become normalised, also harassment of people who dare to complain. The people who perpetrate this behaviour feel quite entitled to behave that way. The second thing we're concerned about is the loss of our built heritage as houses are demolished to make way for new flats and turned into studio rooms. These two issues are related. They're sort of locked in a downward spiral. The permanent residents get very stressed because of the disorder they're living with on a daily basis. It's not just a bit of partying on the weekend, it's all week and every week, for years, with a new set of tenants, neighbours, every year.
And the problems escalate and compound.
Yes, they do. And it's stressful. So they move out, the developers move in, there's more rental accommodation, and so it goes.
And a shabby sprawl from the city centre out.
I'm afraid so.
So how many people are currently involved in City Rise Up?
We had 30 people along to our first meeting a couple of weeks ago, and we've got double that number of supporters now.
What is the next step for you, and how do you intend to improve things, please?
Well, we're looking forward to making a start. We already have made a start. We want to support people who are affected by the disorder. We intend to run workshops about the various issues, and we will lobby for greater regulation of building because to make sure that the new accommodation that is built is in keeping with the character of the area and with the surrounding houses, and also that it's not possible to cram too many people onto a single property. Now, intensification of housing is not a bad thing in itself. It's something that the DCC is encouraging, and we support that, but it has to be carefully managed, and it's not being carefully managed at all at present.
Very briefly, can you sum up what will happen if nothing is done? What if we stand by and do nothing?
We'll lose our built heritage, which is the most wonderful thing about Dunedin. It's what tourists come to see.
And we are the city's, the nation's oldest city as well.
Dunedin is New Zealand's best preserved Victorian city. We'll lose that. And also
Nick Davison, thank you so very much for coming in. I'm sorry we could do this for ages. Thank you so very much.
Okay,
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, did you know that Dunedin is New Zealand's oldest city? And we have more to tell you. And the weather for Friday and for the weekend.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special. 0800 502 402.
Are you within your legal rights to take one life in order to save another? Welcome to the ambiguities of law. Because whilst the law may be clear, there is still room for both yes and no.
What? No!
The decision will depend on logical thinking and the art of argument. And this is what we learn at New Zealand's first and world-renowned law faculty.
You can stop now!
I'm Latafale, and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
Discover New Zealand's most innovative museum, Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. 14 stunning galleries, 3 distinct architectural styles, and 1 million intriguing stories are yours to discover at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. Open daily next to Dunedin Railway Station and with free admission. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Hi, I'm Mike Kernahan, Chief Executive of the Cancer Society, Otago and Southern Division. On 28th of August, we celebrate 25 years of Daffodil Day. Daffodil Day helps us provide care, comfort and hope to people who have a cancer diagnosis and their families. It helps us run health promotion programs so there might be less cancer in the future, and it funds vital cancer research. So please give generously this Daffodil Day. Text HOPE to 469 to donate $3 or visit daffodilday.org.nz and help us make this Daffodil Day the biggest and best yet.
For 30 years, Southern Clams have harvested New Zealand littleneck clams in the coastal waters of Otago. Hand harvesting to order at the right place and time ensures perfection of every clam you eat. New Zealand littleneck clams, harvested for you by Southern Clams.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Oh, lifestyler can be anybody. We look at a lifestyler as someone who perhaps has been a farmer and is retiring into a smaller block. It could be someone who's working here in Dunedin and has a few acres at home. It could be mum and the kids with the pony on an acre. You know, it's anyone that's got a little bit of land rather than just the quarter-acre section.
Welcome back. Tahuna Normal Intermediate pupils are the winners of the regional band competition. The band Rodeo Clowns won the Rock Shop Band Quest Otago contest, beating 15 other school ensembles. The competition for primary and intermediate pupils and is associated with the Smoke-Free Rock Quest. Local winners will compete against other regional finalists from around the country. Just over a dozen awards were given out to Otago participants after they performed in South Dunedin last night. Rock on. The widespread flooding of early June continues to take a toll on residents almost 3 months later. Those affected are receiving a helping hand from the City Council and various other agencies which have established a drop-in centre.
It's been a few months since Dunedin was flooded by torrential rain, but the effects are still being felt. Dozens of families remain out of their homes, and many properties are still extensively flood damaged. The ongoing troubles prompting staff from the City Council and social agencies to assemble at a South Dunedin church to help in any way they can.
Really wanting to reach those who have still got ongoing issues, who just want that, somewhere to go to ask a question. They might just be driving by and say, "Oh, wonder what?" and that's why we're here, just to help those people.
Williams says tenancy and insurance difficulties are big problems for flood-affected locals, and many homeowners are still waiting for builders to start repairs.
In fact, I drove here particularly down Burns Street and then down Kakuldi, and you can see a number of empty properties, a number of workmen outside, some and others are clearly vacant houses.
All that damage has proved one thing though, and that's the strength of the community. Raised in South Dunedin, Williams says she's amazed at how supportive and helpful residents have been to one another in the storm's aftermath, and the drop-in centre's been a welcome safety net.
We are anticipating today as a sort of a last chance, because we've got the DCC call centre that's always there for people to call, and we can get them directed to the right place through that. But if there is enough demand, then we would reconsider.
The day-long centre's open until 7 p.m, and Williams urges people who need help to ask for it. David DeLorean, 39, Dunedin News.
Dunedin's incorporation as New Zealand's first city is being celebrated 150 years on. The old commercial hub of Farley's Arcade provides the backdrop to an interactive theatre experience being staged for the anniversary, and it's giving residents a history lesson disguised as entertainment.
Capturing the essence of early Dunedin as New Zealand's first city. Local actors rehearse a locally written melodrama for Farley's Arcade, the wildest place in town. An interactive theatre experience being staged for the city's 150th anniversary.
A fabulous bit of lost Dunedin history. It existed pretty much where Broadway is now, and it was Dunedin's premier commercial district. in 1865.
It's part of the Dunedin Heritage Festival, although the project's been years in the making. The brainchild of Macmillan and fellow WOW Productions members. It's costing tens of thousands of dollars with a lot of in-kind support and community funding. And it incorporates historic materials from local organisations including Toitu, Allied Press and the Hocken Library.
Participation in the arts is actually a key strategic outcome of this project. We actually want to do something that not only celebrated Dunedin, but allowed the local arts community to participate in what is a pretty cool project.
50 audience members at a time will journey through the Octagon's Athenaeum, part of which has been transformed into Farley's Arcade, albeit with artistic licence.
We're not trying to be 100% faithfully accurate. We've sort of taken a wee leaf out of the Steampunkers guidebook, which is a retrospective futurism.
The project involves about 50 locals, from playwrights and actors to set designers and drama students. They'll transport residents back in time over 16 separate shows, 90 minutes of entertainment with an inbuilt history lesson. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. The Learning Centre at George Street Normal School is open after years of planning and fundraising. Alternative student representation has been considered by OUSA executives who are cutting ties with the National Union. And local secondary school students are getting a taste of the construction industry by touring the city's trade-based businesses. Time now to have a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times. Bruce Query.
Good evening, Craig.
Good evening.
A big rock act at Forsyth Bar Stadium is expected to be announced within days, and this comes after talks to bring Iron Maiden to the city have actually fallen through. As you've already heard, John Key is in town. He's in Dunedin this evening presenting the Class Act Awards as part of his visit, and that's for some of Otago's finest secondary pupils. In business, New Zealand Oil Gas says plunging global oil prices won't affect its plans to be drilling offshore off Oamaru. And in sport, New Zealand Cricket has released its itinerary for the Black Caps for the summer ahead of us, and Dunedin just gets the one international test against Sri Lanka.
Oh, big days cricket. Bruce Query from the Otago Daily Times, thank you so very much. Cheers. All right, time now. Let's have a look at our weather.
Weather Report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
Today's city view, cows, sunbathing above Concord. Pastoral. And around the city today, 11, 13 and 12 out in the Tiny. Looking across the situation, a cool sou'wester airflow moves over the country from the South Tasman Sea. The anticyclone moves away tomorrow, mild nor'westerlies developing after that. And a front of low pressure arrives for the weekend, bringing unsettled weather lasting through into the new week. The forecast for the main towns for the lower South Island for tomorrow: Invercargill, Te Anau, Alexandra, fresh nor'easters, late rain, 15 degrees. And for Queenstown, moderate northerlies fine, 13 Oamaru, moderate nor'easters, cloud increasing in 14 Wanaka and Twizel. Goodness me, haven't been there for a long time. Increasing northerlies, more rain though, 15 degrees. And in Dunedin tonight, becoming fine with frosts in sheltered areas though. A low tonight of 2. Tomorrow, sunny at first, high cloud, take a brolly, rain is later, and moderate nor'easterlies developing, high of 13, low of 3. Saturday, showers, clearing, moderate colder westerlies, high of 9, low of 4. And finally, to the Southern Clams tidal and fishing information. I'm racing against the time. Tides, low tide at 8:45 a.m, high tide at 2:23. Fishing is good, best at 5 minutes to 11. Take the day off. You have my permission to ditch work. And that's all from the good men and women of Channel 39 Dunedin News. I'm still Craig Story. Good evening.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.